So I was 2 games away from Legend 3, and I just kind of, like I already played like so many games with my Big Hero deck, I decided I'd just rush to King of Games with my Red Eyes deck. So this was the last game with Bakura, and then I just got 7 wins in a row to get King of Games. Saved a few replays. So I think this variation is the best version of Red Eyes overall. So we've got anti-magic arrows that shuts down things like golden apples or like super rush headlong or mirror wall. Pretty much everything. So here we see why Gozuki is actually like the MVP of the deck. Most decks, if they draw all their traps in their hand, it's gonna be really bad. But with Gozuki, you can just start milling out your Red Eyes, and then these spirits become active. So here we see it's probably some kind of crazy Destiny draw, super stally deck. And he probably has apples face down. But I just use anti-magic arrows and get around them. So here we see why anti-magic arrows are so nice and why Gozuki is actually amazing. He's pretty much the best card in the deck. Obviously he wouldn't do that much if Red Eye Zombie didn't exist. But yeah, he definitely puts in a lot of work. I also like to have the Karibo. Like, a lot of people don't expect it, and it just saves you from like anti-magic arrow all-ins, or in like the Ditto, people will use like Econ and try to steal your Red Eyes, but then you end up having your own Red Eyes and then they're in defense mode, so it's a lot safer. So here you want to make sure, it's like I have 2 Red Eyes face down. You just want to make sure you wait until Sergeant Electro picks one and then you chain it to it, so you can't lock down any of your spirits. Here I considered, like, maybe I don't really have to send out Wyvern, but I'd prefer to just see what happens. Because, like, what are the odds he's gonna have Windstorm or Anubis? He ends up having it, that's unfortunate, so it starts becoming kinda close. And my Red Eye's Insight is already a dead card. So I wait till the battle phase to chain that. But he ends up having another defensive card. And my other Red Eye's Spirit is locked down. So it's a little unfortunate, but he's out of defensive cards. And he used this normal summon to normal summon Heavy Knight. There we see that secondary Red Eyes effect, being able to steal other zombies. So stealing Heavy Knight's like super nice. Definitely forced him to leave there. And I really like running 2 Wyvern, because with Gozuki, you'll often end up like milling like 1 or 2 of the zombie dragons. And then from that point, like, you could use Insight to mill a Wyvern. So here I start with 3 Insights in my hand and no summonable monsters. So it's kind of crazy. I think she is balanced. Yep. So she is balanced. And it turns out she's Ice Barrier. So I guess going first for them kind of sucks. And he doesn't do anything. I think he was waiting on maybe getting his triangle thing. I don't know what he was doing actually. Yeah, he just gave up and that was my final game for King of Games. I didn't save the other replays, but whatever. Yeah, I think it's like pretty much the best variation overall. I think Metal Morph is a really good card now, but Mirror Wall definitely works. Sphere Karibo is super nice to keep in your hand to just have a really unexpected safety option. This gets around the really annoying Golden Apple decks running around, or like I faced some control decks and just using this card to get around their Guardian statue is really important. It's like their main goal is just to keep their Guardian statue alive and just keep throwing your monsters back in your hand. That's pretty bad if they send your Red Eye Zombie back in your hand. Unless you have a Gozuki. He sort of fixes that. And of course Windstorm is good. I know a lot of people like Enemy Controller, but you know, like this does just fine and defends better. And you don't have to go for huge plays to end the game. Like just using this plus beatdown can end games super well. You really only have room for about 4 utility cards. You could get rid of Heavy Knight of the Flame for a 5th one. I would recommend keeping this and keeping it to 2 Wyvern. Like a lot of the time you'll end up wanting to mill a Wyvern with Insight, and it's super helpful for mid/late game. Like there's a decent amount of duels where I would just lose if I didn't have Wyvern, and he's actually not that bad if you get him in your hand. Like 1800, 1600, those are pretty good stats, and his effect is awesome. But yeah, that's all for now.